Skylanders has pretty much been forgotten about since 2018 with Skylanders Academy, and the last game, Imaginators, was released in 2016. That means going into 2026, it's almost 10 years that our favorite childhood franchise has laid dormant. With the recent announcements of the brand U2's releasing figures and plushies featuring some of our favorite Skylanders such as Gilgrunt, Spyro, Trigger Happy, Stealth Elf, Tree Rex, Pop Fizz, and most likely more on the way, it had a lot of people wanting more and curious if and when Skylanders could return. So if Skylanders was to return, how could they do it? I'm going to be 100% honest. It doesn't matter at all if it's a remaster, a port, a new game. It does not matter who's in the game, what the story's about. Everyone just wants Skylanders. If it's got Skylanders in the name, it will sell well regardless. But the era of Toys to Life is dead, and we live in a microtransaction world, sadly. Even though they're very similar, at least we used to get a physical toy. Hypothetically, if we got a new game or a remaster, how could they bring back these Skylanders? I have a few ideas on just how they could successfully bring back this franchise from the dead. Option 1 is back to where we started, bringing back Toys to Life with actual figures. It sounds good and warms our hearts in theory, but this might actually be one of the worst options. If Skylanders returns, they'd want everyone to fully experience their game. And with physical toys, that prevents that. Add on the biggest factor, scalpers and content creators. Good luck getting your hands on anything with these guys around. Even during Skylanders' peak of popularity, there was only a handful of YouTubers playing and making content for the game. These days, despite the franchise being 6 feet under, there's probably 300 times the amount of creators that would jump at the opportunity to make content on it and get all the figures. This would be a pain for any casual or younger player to play. Despite making Skylanders content for almost 5 years now, I've almost always been against bringing back figures, mostly for this reason. Also add on the fact that NFC cards exist and are used so regularly now. Not sure how they would avoid that since literally every Toys to Life product can be pirated these days.
Option 2. In-game unlockables. The best comparison I can think of is LEGO games. LEGO Games' way of incorporating giant rosters is just perfect. If they took the shell of a LEGO game and made it Skylanders themed, it would rule the gaming world once again, at least for a while. Make Skylanders unlockable throughout the story, or maybe even that open world Skylanders fans have always wanted. I've heard many people say how if they did do away with figures and release a remaster, collecting a Skylanders Soul Gem should unlock the character, and I'm fully on board with this. It would give every player a reason to 100% complete the game. Then also replay it with a full roster of Skylanders. Absolutely love this option. They could even keep the game more relevant over some time by releasing digital expansion packs for the adventure levels, but instead of having the character who was already released with it in the bundle, add the legendary variants, or maybe all new reskin variants for something completely brand new. Option 3. Ported with no extra cost. This option is the easy way to go. They don't even have to remaster the games. It's really the first two that need it anyways. They could release each game as a gold edition, just as Disney Infinity did years ago on Steam. I do wish this option was available for console, but maybe Skylanders can learn from that. In the gold edition, everything is digital and available upon download. Digital portal and every figure is all available. Simple and sweet, but would also allow everyone to experience 100% of the games with no extra cost.
Now on to option 4. This is the last option I could think of, but it could very possibly happen. But basically toys but digitally. And I'm talking about microtransactions. Modern gaming is very known for this, and it hurts my soul to even blend it into the conversation with Skylanders. But Skylanders already introduced microtransactions in the last 2 games with Superchargers and Imaginators. So they know they can do it. Yes, they didn't unlock actual figures, but they did unlock something in the game that you bought digitally. If it worked then, anything could work now. How they'd go about it, I'm really not sure. Maybe only make the starter pack characters available at first, or maybe even one Skylander of each element. I really don't know. Really don't want to think too much about it though, because it's the worst possible option. This is the reason why I always say I don't trust modern gaming with Skylanders. These are just my ideas. If you guys have any other new ideas, make sure you guys comment them. I'd be happy to talk about them. And some of you guys already came up with great ideas on a recent community post. I put it right on the screen right here. And I want to take a look at them because some of them are really great ideas. So shout out to these people. I'm going to try to tag you in the description, but let's take a look at your comments. Our first comment we're going to look at is by Super Cat Andrew Man, and here's what it says. I think there should be two different modes, like a modern and a classic mode. Classic mode is for veteran portal masters who still have their figures, and it allows them to plug in a portal and play the game how they remember it. Modern mode is for newcomers or players who want a simple and accessible way to play, where they gradually unlock Skylanders by finding their soul gems. Honestly, I think having two different options / ways to play would arguably be the best way to go about it. I love this idea. I just do. I love everything you said, and I think it would be a wonderful idea. It would be so great to give, veteran players kind of like a trophy. Here, like, since you kept your figures all this time, you've been a trooper through the past 10 to 15 years, however long you've been playing. Here's your reward. Literally, you can play the game exactly how you remember, and if it's an HD remaster or whatever, enjoy it in HD, and you ain't got to spend another penny other than on the game. I love this idea, while also allowing new players to unlock even old players who probably got rid of their collection because they knew Skylanders was dead or they couldn't afford the new figures. I get it, and I just love this idea. Wonderful idea. Next is a comment by John VLC, and he says, I'd probably say an unlock system using the quest medals you get in Giants, porting them to SSA so they can be used there too. And every 2 can buy you any Skylander of your choice or a random Skylander. Kind of like an unlock system. I mean, that's a cool idea. But I'd want a portal to play to always be an option, even if it's not the main thing which was advertised. Yeah, so this kind of ties into the first comment as well, like giving the 2 ways to play. Like the veteran players, I feel like they deserve to be able to use their figures. They've held on to them for all this time. They've collected for all this time. And it just makes sense to be able to use the physical figures again, but absolutely have some sort of unlock system within the game. I like this idea too, because the quests aren't necessarily easy. I mean, they're easy, but you gotta grind. So it would extend the playtime of this game so much. I actually really like this idea. Next is a comment by Hayes Funny Doings. Thank you for commenting, I do appreciate it. Here's the ideal scenario. Since Toys to Life was unfortunately the main reason Skylanders died due to costing too much for both consumers to buy and Skylanders itself to make, dude, you have no idea. Disney Infinity did it the worst, making 2 billion or whatever Hulk figures, and 1 billion of them landed up in a landfill. Yeah, Skylanders didn't do as bad of a job. Just releasing a game every year with a 40-man roster got ridiculous, so I absolutely agree with you there. Have it be soul gem unlocks so that each Skylander is available with some challenges to make it fair / fun. But sell a oh, I love this idea. Okay, sell a portal that lets you scan in your own Skylanders to unlock them instantly and unlock either exclusive cosmetics or small power boosts. Don't ask me how variants would work. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think you could do the variants because that's really gatekeeping, because that would mean that only the people with the figures that aren't even being sold would get this skin, and that's just completely unfair. I know a lot of you guys are like, no, that's fair, I kept my figures all this time. You can't do that. You can't offer something to some people and not everyone. You got to give everyone the opportunity. But overall, I love this idea. I love the idea of just selling a portal. Be like, oh, here's and you know how they sold the portal owners packs, back when Skylanders was releasing. They should sell a Skylanders figure owners pack and have it be the portal instead of, whatever, the game without a portal. These kind of all tie in together, different ways to unlock, but we got a couple more to go. Now this comment's by Mustard795, and you guys know I'm a sucker for heroic challenges. I do streams of just heroic challenges. I just love them. I think it's really cool that you can make your Skylander more powerful and then go back into the game. But this is a short and sweet comment. Them heroic challenges to unlock yeah, I mean, it's just simple and sweet. That could work. I mean, just play the heroic challenge to be unlocked, or to unlock the character. I mean, Drobots might be really annoying, but no, I could see that working as well. It's a simple unlock, but it would allow everyone to be able to, you know, unlock the whole roster. All right, next up we got Colsid 4071. Sorry if I butcher your guys' names, it happens. If you guys come out to streams, you guys know I butcher all your guys' names on accident. But they say, I generally would love a gacha system, but with strictly in-game currency. No microtransactions allowed. Now, this one definitely could tie into, I think it was option 2 during this video, where Spenny talked about like the Lego games. And Lego games you have to buy, you can unlock characters, but then you have to buy them with in-game currency. And I love that idea. I think this would tie in perfectly. I think the Lego games have a perfect unlock system. I think it's great, and I feel like Skylanders could totally do that. They could even implement, as I'm looking up at my Skylander posters on my wall right now, literally they could put a page up, just how you open a new page, or that page, the character unlock screen in Lego games, have it be literally the Skylanders poster, like the iconic Skylanders poster for each game, whatever game gets ported or remastered, have it pop up on screen, and then have a bunch of like shadowed out ones for the ones you haven't bought, and the ones that you do buy show up just how they do on the posters, which I'm staring at on my wall right now. And that could work really well. Now, this is the last comment. It's by Captain Blitz YT, and it says, secret fourth option. Now, the reason why I'm including this comment is because it's very different from anything else I could think of. I didn't even think of this. Full framing sequence where you as the Portal Master go around a town doing side quests for new figures. Now, I don't know how exactly he meant this. I don't know if he meant literally physically like Pokemon Go walking around, but I took it as maybe actually putting a new like level in the game. Like if they do port SSA or Giants or whatever game really, and they actually add a new kind of like a DLC, but something we've never had before. But a place where you can unlock all of the figures, like all of the Skylanders, you know. I don't know. If they had a new game, you'd have to, it wouldn't be Toys to Life related, because you guys know how the story of really SSA and Giants are super tied into having actual figures. Kind of after Giants, they kind of got away from, you know, including you into the story, it feels like. I feel like SSA and Giants really included you into the story and made you feel more real into the game. SWAT Force and On kind of stopped that. Trap Team did a good job at it, but I don't know. It's a tough thing to kind of think about, like how to unlock them. If there was another game, like a brand new game, it wouldn't be, you know, these Skylanders were sent to you from Skylands in this form, and you have to send them back via this portal. It's gonna be, they got stuck digitally within the game. Like, I don't know, dude. Skylanders as a franchise is a weird thing to think about. Like, if it doesn't work, it just doesn't work. Like, Skylanders are figures. And so trying to think of a story or a world where Skylanders aren't actual figures is really strange. But, all right, this wraps up this comment. Now just my overall thoughts. I'm gonna be honest, I don't want to collect figures again. You know, half of us are adults starting our adult lives and stuff like that. Like, I'm 24 years old, getting married next year. I'm gonna be 25 before I'm even married. I don't want to collect figures again. But the thing is, if Skylanders came back and there was figures, it would be successful. I know people say that like Toys to Life is dead and stuff like that, but Skylanders was too big of a franchise, and it's been so long where I don't even know. I can't even think of a scenario where it would fail. Like, they could do any of the options we talked about in this video, and I think it would be successful. They could make Toys to Life successful again, but that might also just lead to the downfall again. You know, you never know. I don't know. I like the idea of just doing a remaster of the first two. Other than that, the last four are still on new gen, whatever, PS4 and Xbox One, which can be played on new gen technically. And they look and play fantastic, just how modern games should. But SSA and Giants are definitely the ones that need that remaster. And I would love that. And I wish that they would, you know, implement the kind of Lego style. I would love that. I think it would work perfectly for this game franchise. Yeah, it takes a little bit of the magic away, but hey, do you want to be able to experience your childhood again, or maybe experience this amazing franchise for the first time? And I think that would be a great way to do it. But I mean, I do have to throw out there that if they did bring the toys out, there's the recent news of Funko, Funko Pops possibly and probably going out of business because nobody wants these ugly looking things. Okay, I just they all look the same, so it makes sense why they're going out of business. But apparently Funko's going out of business, so maybe that'll open up room on the shelves for Skylanders. Who knows? I don't know, but if there's some hope to be had, maybe there it is. But overall, this is just my thoughts. This isn't any fake leaks or anything like that. This is just me and Spenny talking about possible ways we could get our favorite franchise back in the norm in everyday life again. Skylanders literally ruled the world. Skylanders ruled the world for easily, I would say, 5 to 6 years straight. I mean, even with Imaginators, but they brought out Academy, and that was decently popular. I mean, it wasn't popular enough to finish the dang series and get a season 4, but I'm going to be forever upset about that. But you guys know. If you guys are watching this, you guys know how big Skylanders was. And I think it's impossible for this franchise to lay dead forever. So it is fun for us to think of ways that it could come back. And then maybe when it does, and maybe it's one of the ideas I talked about, I could be like, yo, that's so cool that I talked about that, whatever time ago. But watch, I'm going to be completely wrong. I don't even know what other options there are. But if you guys can think of anything else, make sure you guys comment it. I'll try to always, read all the comments and reply if I like your comment. But other than that, huge shout out to Collecting with Spenny. Thank you for helping out on this video. You guys are going to see Spenny a little bit more on the channel as well. And also his own. He started posting again. He took like a year off hiatus, but he's streaming and posting again. So make sure you guys go subscribe to him. Holy stutter. There was a lot of S's in that subscribe. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. As always, keep saving Skylands. And I will see you guys soon.